back to another exciting edition of Rake in Position, where three lifelong friends are in person and a fourth is somewhere in the world, and there's a dog. I'm Aaron, your host, and shout out to the Chatham Baptist Church League softball. We're 1-1, baby. We had one win all last year.
You know, I kind of want to hear more about that as the pod goes along, but for now, introductions, right? I'm Joe, the groundskeeper. I've always said, and I'd like for our listeners to think about this as well, what are your top 3 inventions of all time? These guys have probably heard this, but I got electricity nasal spray, and then I just had a bottle of ketchup next to me, so I thought I'd bring that up. Shout out to Heinz if you want to sponsor the pod, please.
And if you want to hear this intro from Joe, go back to about episode 18 or 19.
Hey, stuff's probably running together.
And I'm Jaylee the Rover, and that guy in the background is Truman. Say hi, Truman. Nope. Just got an itch.
The Truman Show. Oh, there you go.
They gone. Yeah, so the softball, man. We played, I think
You're telling me you still got it.
Well,
yeah, what position you playing?
I played short.
Ooh.
I voluntarily sat a little bit more this weekend than I normally would.
You've lost it, dude.
There was 11. No, there's 12 of us there, so the plan was to everybody rotate and sit. But I didn't mind it. It was hot. But yeah, we held our own against one of the better teams that whooped us last year, and then we beat another team. The team we beat ended up losing 23-0 their next game, so maybe there's a reason we beat them. But it was fun. Got some younger cats on the team. I am the second oldest person on my team, so that's weird.
That's a
He's not the first.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm not the first. Shout out to Emily for being the oldest. glad when she comes. And she got hurt, so I don't know if she'll be back this week.
So you might take that spot.
I might be the oldest this week, yeah. Player coach role. Yeah, it's good times. All right, guys. So we are back. It's going to be a crazy summer schedule. We're trying to record when we can. I'm supposed to be driving home from Bolivia. Well, driving home from St. Louis after we flew home from Bolivia. But thanks to the Florida weather last week, we never made it to Bolivia. So I'm going to be going to Bolivia in July now, so I'll miss time then.
I was supposed to be in Seattle playing ball, but thanks to my poor ability to play baseball, that didn't happen.
Fair enough. Corey's got family stuff and different things going on this week, and so we were trying to find a day we could all fit here, and we couldn't. So here we are without him. Sorry, Corey.
Sorry, Corey.
And the next week I'm gone at church camp, so it'll be Rake position sans Cooney next week. But we're excited to be here. We got a lot of baseball to catch up on, and we're going to try to keep it sweet and simple this week, but we got some fun stuff to talk about. So start off with the rankings right off the bat. I have no idea what they were last time we did this, but I'm pretty sure it was Phillies, Yankees at the top. So we got a little bit of a shakeup. Just 3 of us voting this week, and Joe voting for all the small market teams. We got Baltimore in the 1 spot. They got a first, a third, and a fourth this week. So Joe got them up there. Phillies in the 2 spot. Somebody did not vote for them. They got a first and a second. The Yankees slide down to the 3 spot. Somebody did not vote for them. And then
don't deserve it.
And the 4th spot is the Guardians. I did not vote for them, I don't think. And then in the 5th spot, because I voted for them, is the Braves. The Braves got back on there, baby, after a hot week of baseball. I gave them a second, and so that's how they got on there. I'm the only one that voted for them. But the Brewers, Dodgers, Mariners, and Kansas City all got some votes and didn't quite sneak in. So we got Baltimore, Philly, Yankees, Guardians, Braves is what we're sitting at right now.
6-4. Going 6-4 is a hot week.
They went 6-1 in the last 7, and they're stomping the Yankees right now. Knocked Carlos Rondon out before the 3rd inning. They were averaging 5.6 runs per game this week, and they just put up 8 so far tonight, so that's going up. Winning in Yankee Stadium, Chris Sale on the big stage, dominating. Riley's finally hitting baseballs.
One thing I looked at.
Jared's crying.
In a
I
lot
just
of
don't even
research.
know what to say.
is it's the same top 5 teams for team pitching and team hitting. You have Baltimore, New York, Dodgers, Astros. Wait a second here. Did I just
That,
make something up?
yeah, that can't be right.
It's better when you make things
Well,
up, Joe.
apparently the Matrix has glitched. Yeah, I can't even speak. So yeah, strike that. Baltimore does lead in both pitching and hitting, so go Baltimore.
Yeah.
Outside of that, disregard where that segment was going.
And they're not even first in their own division, are they?
And
Yeah, they're
I,
Behind
I
chasing
them.
the
just want
Yankees
to
still.
I just want to ask. I'm okay with the Braves making the list, but to vote them as high as second, that's what I want to hear about.
I had the Phillies first, Braves second. I think those two teams right now beat anybody.
Okay.
That's my
So
point.
so you're so you, I guess the fans really need to know how we vote on this. Do you
Yeah,
guys do it's like the hottest team that week? Is that how you guys do it?
typically I weigh the last 10 days. Yeah, like how are they trending?
Okay.
Um,
No, I'm not
as a
arguing. I'm very
yeah
curious because I never knew how you guys voted.
for the whole season. Like right now, if these teams played each other, I think the Braves would beat just about everybody. Their rotation has been amazing all year, even without Strider, and their offense finally started hitting the last 2 weeks. Really picked it up this week. So,
Yeah,
and I was
makes sense
watching
to me.
them, stomp the Yankees tonight as I was voting this. So there's probably a little extra recency bias. If that game hadn't started yet, I probably would have had them fourth or fifth. But putting up an 8 spot on Rondon in 2 1/3 innings was nice to see.
It's true. Give credit where credit's due. That makes sense.
But yeah, the Phillies are still just the top team. Trey Turner, I think, hit a bomb today after not playing for a month. He's like, I'm fine.
He needs
The
to
one that I had,
lift my fantasy team.
yeah, there you go. I have fallen in the fantasy. I don't know if you've looked at it lately. I am now the worst one, I think, on the pod.
I think I
I
beat
have
you like
tanked.
a
Yeah,
week or two ago.
it is. It's falling apart fast. The biggest faller on mine was the Dodgers. I still gave them, I believe, the fifth spot. But losing Betts and Yamamoto, which we're going to talk about a little bit later on, is a big deal because they were already top heavy. They lost their best pitcher and their best hitter. So I had them still fifth. I think they still beat most teams, but right now, wait and see with them. Who else you guys want to talk about in the rankings, or maybe somebody that you voted for didn't make it?
Um, you said the
I,
Royals didn't make it?
Yeah, they got. You're the only one that voted for them. You gave them that fifth place vote.
Dude, I mean, they slipped a little bit for sure. But did you guys see that play that Bobby Witt made the other night? I think it was against the Yankees. And Joe, we can talk
don't think
about
so.
shortstop not being that good, but
You're gonna have to tell Aaron about that.
and Joe's gonna just say, yep, exactly why this infielder's are way better. Anyway, so this ball is hit over his head. You know that drill that we do where you're just looking at the ball, going
Yeah,
back,
the wave
trying to
drill.
track
Yeah,
it. Yep.
I love it.
So
Yeah.
he's doing that, but I mean, he's practically in left field when he
I
makes
did
this
see that.
play
Yeah,
because Joe's probably thinking, oh, left fielder can't make a play. Well, you're probably right. Anyway, so he catches this ball, has the whereabouts to turn around and fire it back to not to first, but to his second baseman. And then the relay picks him off at first for the double play. Like, I don't know. He's just this dude. It's exciting that the Royals
so
have
much
him
fun.
locked up. And he's so much fun to watch and he's so young. So um maybe that's why I voted for him, just because he's one of the most fun players to watch right now. But they have slipped up a little bit, so um
I mean,
I hope they turn around because I'd
they're
love to see
six
them get
games
into the
behind
playoffs. That'd be a
Cleveland.
fun team.
Yeah, they're 6 games behind Cleveland, and I didn't vote for Cleveland, so I couldn't sneak Kansas City in there. I was looking at them and the Brewers. It's
Justify. Yeah.
it's kind of cool, like how it seems like positions at different times are like loaded, and it seems like we're coming into like the cream of the crop for young shortstops again. Maybe Seager's a little bit on the older end of that, but Henderson and then Holiday's supposed to be a beast. And Witt, Mason Wynn is a blast to watch.
Mason Wynn, man. That
Um,
dude might be
yeah,
the
I
only
mean,
bright spot for the Cardinals right now.
Trade him.
so we're seeing that. I don't know, maybe like third base is in a lull right now. Third basemen aren't
Yeah.
jumping out at you, and the big guys like Riley haven't played well like they usually do. Arenado's not playing like old school Arenado, so
Yeah,
it's
it's
weird
like
how
Jose Ramirez
positions
and it just
ebb and
falls
flow.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
I like
shortstops are
It's
fun
to
true.
right now.
I like to use the MLB standings, MLB.com standings. I mean, you can go get MLB standings anywhere, right? Some of them give you more information than others, last 10, run differential, yada yada. I think MLB lays it out. And I like to look at the run differential, and that really kind of shows the disparity amongst the teams, I think. I mean, some teams are so plus and some teams are so minus. And then you have your expected win loss, like the Cardinals are minus 38 and are 500. That's ridiculous. I think, and I always say I think because I know very little. I think, at some point you don't win games if you get outscored. So that it's kind of like that.
Checks out.
I know all of our listeners will like this. I don't know if it's an acronym or what, but the old BAPIP. Tell me what that is.
Batting average on balls in play. So if you actually hit the ball, what is your batting average? So it
Right.
ignores your strikeouts.
And every year there's somebody like in July batting like 360, and then their BAPIP is 480, and then by the end of the season they're batting their career average. So I think you look at these run discrepancies, and very obviously so that those teams are going to separate into your ones that are in the top of our rankings here.
Speaking of tearing up the batting average, this isn't on our agenda, but it made me think of it. Have you guys seen Stephen Kwan's stats?
I'm not.
Nope.
I'm pulling up right now because I don't want to be wrong, but yeah, okay.
Does he have enough at bats?
Currently, he's hitting 387. I saw 396 earlier in the week, so I don't know what happened.
Does he? I don't see him at all.
American League, he's got 191 at bats, so I don't know. Is that enough? It should
I would think it would be enough.
try to think how many games does he play. He's played 47 games, so he's a little behind on games played. Yeah, 47 is not going to be enough. Most teams are in the 70s, 80s, something like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, he must have been hurt early on, but I hadn't heard anything about him. He's hitting 387 with a 448 OBP, so that'll play. But yeah, it looks like he's going to be behind on that bats. He's got to stay healthy the whole year for it to matter. But of course, Arise already has 100 hits. He's done nothing but hits since going to San Diego. So some old
Mm-hmm.
school light slap hitters that are getting on base a lot that we used to see a lot back in our childhood. It's kind of fun to see a little resurgence there.
Well, that's just how you get traded. You don't hit, and then they trade you, and then you go wherever you're
That's
playing,
right.
and you start
It's,
hitting.
it's smart. He's playing chess, but everybody's playing checkers. If I play like crap, somebody else will take me on a flyer, and then bam, World Series. All right. Well, there's the rankings: Baltimore, Phillies, Yankees, Guardians, and Braves, with
Hey,
Brewers,
a
Dodgers,
little
Mariners, Royals.
a little bit on that topic, I think would be fun. If you're coaching, or let's say you got a kid, what are you? I love how I crack myself up because I'm such an idiot. Like, what are you teaching? Are you teaching that like hit down on the ball, yada yada yada, hit it on the ground, beat it out, in contact? Um, do you or do you even know what you would try to teach? What would your approach be? I recently watched because I've kind of developed into one of the better coaches in the state of Illinois myself, and I was watching
Can't even
a
say that with a
to-
straight face.
I was watching a Tony Gwynn clip. I mean, Tony, best contact hitter ever, probably, right? But he still had the swing of he still had an upward swing. I mean, he was trying to take it to right field, but I guess I don't know what the plane you swing or whatever. He definitely was not hitting down on the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He had some very good points as to swing up on the ball, get your bat in the zone. But I don't know. I guess I'm curious what you guys would say, maybe what our listeners would say if you're teaching a kid to hit. What are you going with?
Yeah, that's a good question because I've heard Tony say too, like because the pitch is coming down, so you need to swing up, so you're on a
Yeah,
plane with it.
and doesn't that just make so much sense?
It does, yeah.
It
Um,
and I feel like we've not heard that ever our entire life. It's always like
yeah,
even big
but
leaguers will say I hit down on the
and
ball.
I just wonder, like, if you worked with them longer, if it would change. Because I've heard Chipper kind of say down on the ball. Because I've seen some videos of Chipper hitting off a tee, and his goal was to hit down on it to get backspin to make a line drive to the back of the cage every time. A line drive that stayed level, and you do that by hitting down on it so you get the backspin. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I don't know. It's tough too when those are like elite contact hitters. I mean, Chipper's not Tony Gwynn, but he hit 300 for his career.
Yeah.
So like, can a normal person do what they do? No.
Yeah.
So
If
a little kid, I was like, just hit the ball. I don't know.
a, a lot of it comes back to everybody's got their own swing, and
Yeah.
you can either kind of do it or you can't. But there's just a lot of advice out there, and I don't know what I would
Mm-hmm.
teach. To be honest, I tell our kids to go up and swing for the fence. So
Might as well. I know, like, sorry, Coach Schultz, but Coach Schultz a lot, especially when we were playing, he got a little bit looser as I was coaching with him, but it was very much like, here's the 5 things you need to do. Everybody should do the exact same things. And I've never agreed with that. I don't enjoy that. I like to see what the player does naturally and then try to fine tune and adjust it. But I don't care if everything's a little different for everybody because it's what comes naturally is going to be most comfortable. And then
mhm.
the biggest thing I think is the mental side of things of having an approach. I've said I guessed all the time. I know that's not normal, but not trying to crush everything, which is you get paid in the big leagues to hit a homer. So why not try to crush it? Who cares if you struck out 200 times? If you hit 40 bombs, you're getting 15 million.
Payday.
Yeah. Marcelo Zuna.
Mhm.
I mean, that dude still has a job because he can hit homers. That's like the only thing he can do. So why not swing for the fences?
Yeah, listeners, we may start up a hitting school if you guys want to enroll yourself or your
You're
children or
gonna
whatever.
you're gonna want to.
Well, all three say something different and be like, well, you didn't listen. We throw out every possible scenario. One of us has got to be right.
Listen to me, do what he says, and look at the other guy.
Keep your eyes on me while you're listening to him and talking to him. Look at both of us at the same time and say it. All righty. There we go. That's our rankings and some hitting advice. The hitting advice is free. We won't charge you for that tonight, folks. But we're
Tonight,
going to move on. I
but
got the
going
wrong mouse.
forward, we will.
Yes, from here on out. That's a teaser. That's the appetizer. All right, Jared's going to take us into some big news stuff that's gone on recently since we've last convened.
Yes, sir. And just to piggyback off that for 1 second, we all have coached before, so it's not like we don't have any coaching experience on this right
Sure.
now. So just saying,
Sure.
a lot of you out there haven't coached. We have. So take
Listen
it for what
up.
you will. But yeah, let's dive in here. We'll hit the big topic here, but let's go into the little injury news that we alluded to earlier with the Dodgers. Um, some would say that the Dodgers lost another bet. Get it?
I
Otani
like it.
betting,
I like it.
Mookie bets. Okay, Aaron, I'm gonna need you to get on board here.
Thanks, man.
That,
I
that was
didn't
the
get
best
it.
joke I've had. Was it just that bad? You can be honest with me.
No, it's wonderful.
Okay, thanks. Anyway, so yeah, Mookie Betts getting drilled in the left hand, fractured left hand. And I think that might have just taken. I mean, Dave Roberts' post game interview after was really depressing. I don't know if you guys peeped it, but he was very much just like it's a big blow. But then he gave you all like, "Oh, we'll be fine." Like, I don't think so. Like Mookie Betts is, like you said, what a quarter of your offense between Otani, Freeman, and Betts. So it's not looking good there. But then to add injury to insult here, Yamamoto also on the block. Um, I didn't quite see his injury. Do you guys have that?
Forearm?
It was shoulder irritation, but they're officially labeled it triceps. I don't know if that means like where the tricep attaches to the shoulder or if they were changing
Got
their
it.
mind, but just some general soreness up there. They don't think it's anything bad, but anytime you shut down with your arm, it's
And
scary.
you use it. That's the
Yeah.
only thing you use it.
Yeah.
So
So if he's out for
um
4 weeks, then he's going to have to go on rehab for a couple weeks. So to
mhm.
get back up
So
to strength.
yeah, I mean pitching may not be as a significant setback for the Dodgers with, Glasnow and Bueller and Kershaw eventually coming back too. So I think they'll be okay there. But man, the Mookie Betts thing that's pretty big. Be interesting to see how their offense looks for a while after that. But uh, who knows? So um,
My thoughts would be they're probably going to be fine. Um, I mean, you lose an MVP and you lose one of your better pitchers, but you still have like two other MVP candidates in your lineup, followed by, I mean, Teoscar Hernandez, Omegalo, putting up 18 bombs, but Will Smith, Mac Muncy,
Muncy just got transferred to
they
60
got a,
day IL. So
oh, well, he gone.
they made room for, he's been hurt for about a month anyway. So he's probably not going to be out any longer, but they moved him to call up a rookie pitcher. So he moved him to the 60 man to create a 40-man spot. Follow all that. Okay, at the beginning of the year, I did predict the Diamondbacks to beat the Dodgers.
Well,
The Diamondbacks have grossly underplayed. Corbin Carroll realized you have to do it more than once to be, a Hall of Famer. But a lot of it was the rotation. Um, Bueller's back on the IL. He came up off the IL, made a handful of starts at 6 ERA. They're like, okay, go back to the IL. Tony Gonsolin's on the 60. Gratterall's on the 60. Joe Kelly's on the 60. Kershaw's on the 60, but supposed to be back the second half of the year. Dustin May's on the 60. Emmett Sheehan, which is one of their big rookies that Corey was touting. Guess what? He's on the 60. And Yamamoto's on the 15 with an arm injury. So they're calling
that
up.
doesn't sound good.
No, they're calling up some rookies to make some debuts to start filling this roster out. And then you take Betts, who I give him props, man. He did better at shortstop than I thought he would that quickly. But now Miguel Rojas is going to play short. Like if you thought he could play short, you would have just left Betts at
woof.
second. And Muncy, like I said, is not coming back in the first half off his injury. So, yeah, all of a sudden, like, are you really going to rely on Teoscar Hernandez to hold the fort down in the middle of that lineup? Tani and Freddie are two of the best hitters in the world, but I don't know. They're going to show some cracks. Now it's the Dodgers. I don't feel bad for them. They got bajillion. They got, five Billies sitting at home ready to go buy somebody. So,
Yeah, you got to think they make a move
yeah, like
close in July
four.
at some point.
And they still have somehow one of the deepest farms. So it's going to be a lot of rookies stepping up and making some moves soon. But, like what shortstops are out there? Joe's still available. I thought maybe Willie Adames from the Brewers. Jared, can you move your hand? I can't see your dog.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
I thought Willie
Truman's
Adames
available.
would get traded, but the Brewers are playing good, so all of a sudden he's probably not on the market. So I don't know. I haven't dived into it. Maybe that's what we need to do as we approach the deadline. Come up with some of these hypothetical situations.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
But they still got a big team, big lead, superstars. But I don't want to hear Dodgers complaining because Betts is out and Yamamoto's out. So is Acuna and Strider. So let's do it.
Yeah, we're looking at you. We're looking at you,
Yeah,
Cody Freeman.
and, and Betts and Yamamoto that's some team's payroll.
Yeah,
Did
seriously.
did anybody see it was a meme or whatever, but Shohei's kid threw out the first pitch. Anybody see that?
They had a bunch
Mm-mm.
of guys, didn't they?
I thought it that's what it was.
Yeah.
I mean,
Father's Day. Mm-hmm.
that's what the heading was saying anyway. and a little bitty kid, and like threw a really good pitch, and it was Dodgers sign whatever his name was to a $600 billion deal, all deferred. He will leave the state when it's done.
That's awesome.
That's funny.
It was pretty hilarious.
The Braves lined up like, I don't know, like 12 or 15 guys across the infield for Father's Day, and they all had their sons thrown to them. And so they're like 25, 30 feet away, and all of them lob it except for Ozuna's kid just rears back and throws it like 60 at him from like 20 feet away. Dude had a
On
cannon.
target?
Yeah, Ozuna caught it, but it was like everybody else, you can see all the balls lobbing.
Got to show it off.
Yeah, that was harder than his
Absolutely.
dad already does. So good times.
Not much. Yeah.
But like the next day, Judge got hit on the hand.
hmm
And I think the baseball broke. Judge is fine playing, so I don't know.
hmm Yeah. That's what happens.
And he ripped.
Um, yeah, that dude is a big dude. Anyway, let's move on here. So we had a game played at Rickwood Field in Alabama, between the Giants and the
That's a good
Cardinals.
Alabama. A good Alabama.
Thanks, I've been practicing it before we got on the pod. So I had to mute my mic earlier. I was practicing it so you guys didn't hear it. But yeah, played between the Giants and our favorite team, the Cardinals, Joe. So a little insight to it. Joe alluded to it earlier. Cardinals were up 3-0, and then immediately gave those 3 runs right back. I believe they ended up winning 6-5, but um I don't have the dimensions of the stadium, but I did peep the highlights, and not a lot of people got to attend this game. I mean, obviously, just based on it being a historical field, but
Mhm.
uh, the Cordys live in Alabama, and we talked about him. I think on the last pod, I told him he should take his son Wyatt to this game. He's like, "Oh, that's a good idea." He proceeded to look up tickets for said game. I don't think you could find one cheaper than $400. So
Nice.
don't don't think they made it to that game. Um, the only other thing was this on Fox. Did you was is that the channel it was on?
I honestly didn't get to watch it, so I'm not for
Um,
sure.
I don't know. I was not on Bali or Bali or whatever that is.
Yeah, man, it is still just so frustrating that this
It
game is
wasn't
not
on
on
ESPN either.
ESPN
No.
or like just televised everywhere for people to watch. So I don't know. Come on, MLB, you got to do better here. Um, but I do like that they are doing more of these games at historical fields across the United States. So I hope they continue to do it. It seems like they will. It seems like the players really like going to these old stadiums and playing there, and obviously like the historical significance behind it, and the players that played there before them. And they brought back the old school jerseys, which were really cool. Which I actually liked the Cardinals ones. Those were actually. I hope they bring those back every now and then. It's kind of like a navy blue and like gray type thing. So, um,
Was
but
it a
yeah,
St.
guys.
Louis Negro League
hmm
jersey or was it? Okay,
Yep,
cool.
yep. It was really cool. Um, but yeah, not much more on that game. But any thoughts there, gentlemen?
I did pull up the Wikipedia, so we know that's legit. Rickwood
I
Field
I
was
just wrote that
made.
in today.
Nice. All right. The team owner's name was Rick Woodward, so that's why it's Rickwood Field. There you go.
Clutch.
And it was the home of the Birmingham Black Barons. It used to seat 10,800. Now it only seats 8,300 because they've done some renovations and it cut into the seats. But the dimensions are pretty straightforward: 325, 399, 400, 370, 332.
Hey, we're gonna make
Pretty
we're gonna make
normal.
some adjustments at this field, but we're
We're
gonna
going to
cut
cut.
all those seats
You're going
out.
to lose 25% of your seating just
Hmm.
right off the bat. Hey, that's pretty good math. I did that off the top of my dome without
Dude,
Corey,
nice.
guys.
Good job. We don't
Yes,
need
there you
Corey
go.
anymore.
That's right.
Just
And it's
kidding. I need you,
located
Corey.
in Birmingham, Alabama. There you go.
Alabama.
I
One thing I
didn't,
did see that was cool for the game was the Giants center fielder hit a homer,
Oh, that's cool. I didn't see
but
that.
not before Brendan Donovan hit a homer.
but it was, kind of celebrating, a
Sure.
former Giants center fielder.
Yeah, before we get into that, I didn't get to watch any of the interviews, but um I know they had a lot of some old players there that played in the Negro leagues, and of course we don't. we don't like why they had to play in a separate league, but it's still cool to hear their stories and see like, hey, there's still people around that. It's like World War II survivors. There's not a whole lot of them left. So anytime you can hear them talk and hear
Mhm.
them still be excited about the game and hear some of their stories, it's super cool. And they had a pretty good group of guys there, all like upper 90s,
Mhm.
um, talking about playing with some old players that you think about in the sense of ancient history, right? But then there's people here that's like, I played with them, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely cool. Definitely like that they keep bringing history back into it for sure. All right. Well, gentlemen, it's time to talk about the big thing. Some sad news, but also celebrating a legend. Mr. Willie Mays passed away at the age of 93. I mean, I think obviously played way before any of us got to watch baseball, but I do think anytime that you are a fan of baseball, have gone back and watched highlights, gone back to look at stats, I mean, this guy is legit everywhere. So I think some make the argument if he could be one of the best, if not the best center fielder, let alone baseball player of all time. Um, I mean, obviously, the first thing that pops into your guys' head is what?
Catch.
Catch.
Mm-hmm.
As a rookie too, I think, wasn't it?
Yep.
Or
Yep.
he was young. He was early in his career.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, how many times do you watch that and you're like, I'm gonna recreate that or try to
Yeah,
recreate that,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So I think that's cool about not necessarily getting to watch these guys growing up, but like seeing all the stuff that they've done, what they've done for the game, and just flat out being dominant. So I pulled up an article here. It is 24 facts for number 24's legendary career. I'm not going to go through all 24. I'm going to go through some that I thought that I didn't know about that were pretty cool or ones that just stuck out. Um, I will just read number one because I thought this was pretty cool. A club of his own, 50 homers and 20 triples. Mays is one of the best dual threat players in MLB history, using his incredible blend of speed and power to torment opposing pitchers. He is one of just 30 players all time to hit at least 50 homers in a single season, but he's one of 86 players to rack up at least 20 triples in a season. Mays, however, is the only player who is a member
Hmm.
of both clubs, making it all more incredible that the fact that Mays reached those plateaus just 2 years apart, crushing an MLB leading 51 homers in 1955 before pacing all other players with 20 triples in 57. Um, I thought that was cool. I mean, to have that much power and speed is kind of ridiculous. Um, let's keep it moving here. Anything you guys want to throw in about Willie Mays while I'm looking, like definitely chime in. I don't want there to be like a pause or whatever.
Do
So
we remember who got him on the all-time fantasy draft?
I don't know. You took all the cheaters, so I don't think you picked him.
I had like Babe Ruth and Ted Williams, so I guess if
I
they
feel
cheat,
like I feel like I had him. I think I
I
had him
feel
and
I know
Hank
I
Aaron.
didn't. I know I didn't.
I think I had him and Hank Aaron out in
You,
my outfield.
yeah, maybe you were
And Jared
closer.
went Jared went Griffey in center, I believe.
And I think I took Mike Trout too, which was a terrible pick. Anyway, we'll move on.
It's a good
Um,
pick.
yeah. Number three on the list is a run like no other. 13 years of MVP consideration. Mays was the model of consistency from 1954 to 66, stringing together a 13 season run of pure excellence. He won the National League Most Valuable Player award twice during that stretch, first in 1954 and again in 65, but he was a yearly contender for the honor. In fact, he received a share of MVP votes for each of those seasons, and he finished in the top six in 12 of those 13 years and in the top three six times. Um, that's
Decent.
insane. Like that,
Decent.
that's an insane stretch to be getting that many votes consistently. Um,
And he probably like I'm looking at some of these numbers. He fell into the I'm so good every year people stop voting for me because
Yeah, like early Mike Trout stuff.
he's getting fifth and sixth place votes when his stats are league leading. So it's pretty funny.
mhm. All right. Let's see. Number six. What could have been? Amazingly, Mays went on that 13 season tear immediately after missing nearly 2 years, 2 full seasons while serving his country. He played in only 34 games in 1952, then missed the entire 53 season after being drafted into the Army. Mays clearly didn't miss a beat upon returning in 1954, leading the majors with an average of 345 and a 667 slugging percentage, while also racking up 41 homers, 110 RBIs, and an NL best 13 triples en route to earning his first MVP award. So no big deal. Just gonna go defend my country, come back and get an MVP.
Mm-hmm. Ridiculous.
I definitely. You think 5 tool players? I mean, he's got to be the number one. I think when people think about that, and then just all time. Yeah, he's always on the top 10 list, if not top 5.
Yeah, I'm looking at his debuts. Like this past weekend at Birmingham at the Rickwood celebration was supposed to have some celebration of Willie Mays, and I know that they still did that. Unfortunately, he passed away before that could all happen. But he debuted with the Birmingham Black Barons, the Negro Leagues, in 1948, so 17 years old, and then made his jump to the National League New York Giants in 51 at 20. So you're saying at 20 years old he's a rookie. Then he takes 2 years off while he's 21 and 22 to go play or to go fight, I mean, and then comes back to play again at 54 and wins the MVP. And, you know, like most guys would still be in the minors at that point, and he's dropping MVPs and skipping seasons, and it's ridiculous.
All right. We've talked about a lot of him offensively. Let's go to Golden defense.
I will
Okay, I'll
bring
wait.
something up that I didn't know. I just now see that he went to the Mets at the end of his career.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, did not know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He has a he does that over the shoulder catch too. It's a cool video when he's like 50 playing old timers game in Shea Stadium, and he catches that. He's in a Mets uniform in that, but like he catches it, kind of rolls onto the onto the warning track, but still got it done, man.
Yeah, they need to bring those back.
Sorry, someone get one other fact in there real quick for me.
His number is retired by the Mets. I did not know that. Giants and Mets both retired
Yep,
him
old number 24.
because he wasn't there too long. And
Did I get that right?
somehow 5.3 of the Hall of Fame voters didn't vote for him. I hope those guys all got immediately banned from writing about baseball for the rest of their lives and their afterlives because that's just stupid.
Yeah, listeners, if you haven't listened to our Hall of Fame pod where we talk about that, you should go listen to that and then make a massive social media firestorm to get some changes made and have us be the voters.
I don't know if that'd be a good thing or a bad thing. It'd definitely be interesting. That's for sure. Anyway, so let's go on to number 9 here. Golden defense. Along with being one of the game's most prolific hitters, Mays is widely regarded as one of the best defensive center fielders of all time. Mays not only took home 12 gold gloves, the most by any center fielder, but he's also responsible for the catch.
The catch.
An iconic over-the-shoulder grab in Game 1 of the 1954 World Series that was universally considered one of the greatest defensive plays in MLB history. And I mean, like they got the paused photo here. You guys probably can't see it very well, but he's like
Yeah.
not even
I
he's
got
not
it.
even looking back. Like he's
Yeah.
just like
It's
that's
not just a
insane.
casual over the shoulder. It's dead
It's
sprint
straight like
over the top of your head. It's insane.
nuts. Nuts, nuts, nuts. Let's
Is that at the
see.
Polo Grounds too? Does it say where that catch happened? Because I feel like it was, which has a ridiculous center field. Because it was New York versus
Yeah,
New York
it
in
doesn't
that World
say on here,
Series.
but I mean, it looks deep. I'll tell you that. All right, I'm gonna keep it stringing along here. I liked this one a lot. Best versus best. Mays tees off versus Hall of Famers. The two pitchers Mays faced the most by far in his career were a pair of Hall of Famers, Warren Spahn and Don Drysdale. Yet neither could find an answer for Mays' prowess at the plate. The Say Hey Kid hit better than 300 against against each pitcher combining for a slash of 318, 0.371, 0.596. 59 extra base hits, including 31 homers against the duos.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
What?
Yeah,
Who
I
are
got
those pitchers again?
Warren Spahn and Don Drysdale.
I got some stats for you here. So for the catch, 1954 World Series against the Indians. I was wrong there. Against Cleveland Indians. The batter was Vic Wertz. I've never heard that name. That poor fella. Hit the ball 425 feet, and Willie Mays caught it. Poor Vic Wertz is one shot at
Is that
World
the Polo
Series.
Grounds?
It was at the Polo Grounds. Yep,
Man,
425. Because you
getting
notice he's still a couple steps away from the wall,
yeah.
and he
What's
turns
that
around.
wall? Poor
Yeah, the Polo Grounds was like 500 dead center, wasn't it? Something like that.
is
250 down the lines. And he turns
It might
around
have
and
been like
fires it
120.
in blindly. That's still a sucker. Need 3 cutoffs just to get it back to the infield.
Can you imagine like just absolutely blasting something to center field, pimp dogging it because you know it's 450, and then it's just like a can of corn to the center fielder.
Oh, Vic, rest in peace, man.
Yeah. Let's see. Ranking among the best. Mays ranks third among position players with a 156.2 WAR, trailing only Babe Ruth and Barry Bonds. That means Mays finished only 6.6 WAR shy of the all-time mark, despite missing most of the 1952 season and the entire 1953 season while serving in the U.S. Army. So, had he not done that, he'd most likely be the best player of all time,
Mm-hmm.
WAR wise.
War wise, yeah.
Uh, oh, this is a good one. Now playing shortstop? Question mark. Though he was a Hall of Fame center fielder and spent some time at first base late in his career, Mays made an appearance at shortstop in one of the wildest games in MLB history. Facing the Mets in Game 2 of a doubleheader at Shea Stadium, Mays shifted from center field to shortstop, probably because they needed their best athlete to go play that position.
Exactly. Even at 40 years old, they're like, we need somebody from the outfield to go play shortstop because it takes prime athletic ability
And then
to
this
play
is
You guys are
shortstop.
finally coming over, huh?
Where do they find that prime athlete? In the outfield. That's right.
Mhm.
It's already out there.
Though he did not see any action, Mays spent 3 innings at short before shifting back to center field for the remainder of San Francisco's 23-inning victory.
Jeez.
That's why we have the ghost runner, Joe.
Yeah, now we start somebody at home plate that scores an automatic run in extra innings.
Let's see here. Um, of the 28 players in the 500 home run club, none hit as many triples as Mays' 140. Only 2 other members even topped 100 triples. Babe Ruth had 136 and Jimmy Fox had 125. Mays also ranks second in the 500 club with stolen bases with 338, trailing only Barry Bonds. Let's see. He was the first player in MLB history with multiple 35-35 seasons. Um, okay, got a couple more here. Mays often stepped up in big spots, posing a .965 career OPS in high leverage situations. That ranks fifth all time among players with at least 2,000 high leverage plate appearances behind only Jimmy Fox, Barry Bonds, Stan the Man, and Henry Hank Aaron. Mays also had 1,928 documented total bases at the 7th inning or later, second almost on record, second most on record behind only Aaron. Nuts.
Yep,
Crazy,
Baseball
man.
Reference has him listed at 5'10", 170 pounds, which little generously is basically my dimensions. I just don't understand why I can't literally do the exact same thing that this guy did. But still got time. Still got
Yeah.
time.
So, all right, let's go. I think I got 2 more here for you fellas. 162 game average. Even factoring in the decline over his final seasons, May's career numbers work out to 162 game average of 36 homers, 103 RBIs, and 18 stolen bases. Not a bad average. I'd take that.
Deece.
I would take that.
I take that for 1 year, man.
All right, and last but not least, got to celebrate this as well, just because he was so dominant on the field, superstar on and off the field. In 1971, Mays was named the inaugural recipient of the Commissioner's Award, which was later renamed to the Roberto Clemente Award. The honor is given annually to the player with best represents the game of baseball through extraordinary character, community involvement, philanthropy, and positive contributions both on and off the field. So needless to say, Willie Mays gonna be missed, but man, what a mark he left on the game. Uh, I don't know, fellas. May not see a center fielder like that ever again. I know we've had glimpses with Mike Trout, and there was actually a stat in there of Mike Trout and him being in one category by themselves. But man, what a what a decade and a half of dominance.
Mhm. It's
Yep.
amazing.
Excellent long career.
Well, kudos, Jared. Well done. Got to give a shout out to the legends when it's appropriate. So anytime we talk about Willie Mays, it's appropriate,
Yeah,
especially off this weekend.
most legends wear number 24 too, right, Joe?
Number 24. A lot of good players wore that number and do
Kobe,
wear that
Bryant.
number.
Kobe Bryant. Moving on.
I would say
Speaking of,
Griffey, but okay.
speaking of top 50 players,
All righty. So everybody's second favorite segment is back for a encore. So
Encore.
with much trepidation and uncertainty, I am kicking it to Joe.
oh man, I got to start coming up with theme songs to these things so everybody can get super excited before they know what's happening. But so this is going to be the second segment of what I like to call "Don't Be an Ig," and what that is basically we're looking at some things that I, people are aware are a part of the game, but maybe not really sure how in depth it is or why it is or why. I already said why. What was it? What was last episode's? Don't be an egg. I already forgot.
I
Was it
did too, bro.
walks? I think it was walks, right?
Yeah, it was eight balls.
Yeah. So I think we're probably a little bit ignorant of some of these things. And we also use this phrase of don't be an ig back in the day, basically calling somebody dumb. So it's some things that I think are kind of dumb in the league, and also some things that we probably aren't fully aware of the rules. So just think of what I got to come up with for this segment. I got to come up with twofold, something ignorant and then something also dumb. So I could just talk about myself, but I had to dig in and find something here. So of course I'm going to start with a story. I have a pretty good story for this one to start with. So we were just talking about a legend on the diamond, and this one kind of reflects on a legend on the diamond. So we're playing wooden bat league baseball, and I'm on the mound. I was one of our top 9 pitchers that we had, and I'm pitching. My elbow hurts so bad. My shoulders still hurts. But anyway, they hit the ball to Aaron. He has an error. So there's a guy on first base. I don't know if he had an error. That's the only way I can think a guy could get on base against me. And
You don't think me. Think Corey. Corey's not here. I was probably playing first base. Ain't no way I had an error over there.
and probably Corey was catching. So Jay Lee had an error. So
No,
anyway,
I never got invited to these wooden bat games very much. I only played
False.
like 2 games.
False.
Nope, never invited. Probably because I couldn't hit. So understandably why I didn't get invited.
I
Continue the
couldn't hit
story.
either.
But
So
hey,
anyway,
we can blame me. I was probably playing third base.
I'm trying to keep this guy on. I'm trying to pitch, yada yada. And in between innings, the ump, you know, the guy who has a license that he bought from Erico down the street to ump games, he comes up and he's like, "Hey, when you're checking the runner and you're on the mound, or when you're set, you can only look with your head." He's like, "You can't move your shoulders." I'm like, "Okay, well, thanks for not calling a balk. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life, but I'll try to do that." Um, and then the other, so if you didn't if you didn't catch where this "Don't Be an Egg" segment's going, it's on the balk. And I know I'm already rambling like a beast here, but um, the other thing that really got this going, that I just kind of threw that story in because it fit, was it's probably been a month ago now. I've been thinking about this for a while. Is so I can't move my shoulders because that's so deceitful to the runner. But I'm watching a Yankees game, and Nestor Cortez is straight up a ballerina out there on the mound, and it's just like, oh, this is perfectly fine, which it's hilarious. So
It's on
if
the
it's within
windup
the
though.
rules, yeah, but it's still, you've watched games where there's a micro movement out of the pitcher, and they're like, balk, everybody gets a base, and then Nestor's out there. I wish I could get my camera all over my body to to
It's
show
for the best.
you
It's
and
for the best we
dance
don't.
what goes on.
Joe wants to videotape
And
something
then
about arena.
there's already
Sorry.
those videos out there. And then also helping with um this traveling baseball team that I help with. We haven't had a lot of balks called, but same thing. I mean, these micro movements that usually they get a warning for, but then they call a balk. And I'm just like, this is so ridiculous. So anyway, for baseball fans who are really oblivious, a balk occurs. I'm reading this straight off MLB's website now. Occurs when a pitcher makes an illegal motion on the mound that the umpire deems to be deceitful to the runners. As a result, any men on base are awarded the next base, and the pitch, if it was thrown, is waved off for a dead ball. Um, Side note to that, which this is the part I love. Jay Lee, I think you'll love this too, and Aaron. Um, so the balk did not even get introduced until 1898, and the league started like what, like 70s, right? So there's a good there's a good 20 years where the pitcher can do anything to mislead or or deceive the runners, which I think I may be back. Holy crap! How's this not a appreciator reinstate rule?
That dude, that could have
That
been a
just came into
perfect
my head.
segment. You could have caught us blindsided there and just
You
thrown it
got
in there.
both in same time.
Gosh darn it. Anyway, that maybe that should come back. So before 1898, I mean, Jay Lee, it also reminds me a little bit of Tim Robinson when he's like, when he's acting like he's gonna hit that guy. Anyway, so you could deceive the runners as much as you wanted to. That sounds hilarious now that we talk about it. Um, so anyway, then I kind of descended into all the rules that a balk was, and basically I'm gonna stay an ig on this because wowzers, trying to decipher that was like the Navajo code coming in to decipher the Enigma machine off the German Nazis. Holy smokes. So I guess long story short, I'm still an ig. I have no idea what a balk is. I think it's stupid, these little micro movements that somehow umpires see, and they're like, oh, balk, everybody gets a free base. um But yeah, listeners, what are your thoughts? Jay Lee, Aaron, I know you guys have seen a lot of games and probably seen a lot of box, and I think they get a little ridiculous sometimes.
I would not to say that I agree with you because I think that's a bold statement and something no one should ever say to Joe. Um, but I get what you're saying. Like the little micro ones that like you'd have to go to a replay to truly see. I guess is somewhat like come on, but like ones that are definitely like okay, that was clearly a balk. I mean, it's in the rules for a reason. And obviously, Joe, if you can't turn your head to see over your shoulder to pick someone off at first base, you need to probably see a chiropractor.
Hey, that's not, you can't move your shoulders, man.
Yeah, dude, you
Move your eyeballs.
Hey, you guys didn't spend as much time on the mound as I did.
I think I
I
spent
don't
more
think you
time on the mound
understand.
as you. That's probably why I picked nobody off
We
ever.
couldn't let Joe pitch because he'd balk everybody home. I mean, you gotta have
yeah.
something. You gotta
Yeah.
have something because you couldn't lead off if you could do whatever. Now it does say deceit if you can't deceive the runner. So what if I tell the runner, "Hey, I'm not picking you off this time. I'm not deceiving him." Be like, "Hey, dude, I'm not picking you off. I'm not deceiving him. I'm telling him exactly what I'm doing."
Once
Now,
you tell me that,
if I go pick him off, then clearly that's balk.
yeah, once you tell me that, I'm gone, dude.
That's a good point. So you gotta have something, or else
Fully
the
disclosed. I'm not picking him off. All right, I'm going to second.
See ya.
Well, I know we've all been on first base here, and with a lefty, even after reading the rules, after playing the game for years, I still have no idea. Oh, they made a motion to the. Oh, I go. Oh, wait, he throws over to first. I'm picked off. And obviously I'm the one that's dumb and can't wrap my hand around it, but it just seems like there's no consistency. This guy lifts his leg, his foot goes behind, yada yada, and you're picked off.
It's Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong. It's they can't step towards home and pick you off. Is that correct?
It's kind of the rule of thumb's imaginary 45-degree angle. So if they step within the
Okay.
45 degrees towards first, they're good. If they go beyond that 45, that's a movement home. But you see Pettit, Max Fried, oh my gosh, he's stepping 88.9. I don't know how he doesn't get called for.
Well,
Oh, he doesn't get
and
called for it. Pettit was the same way.
and there's something about your foot cannot go back a certain amount either. Like you
Can't
break
cross the
back.
rubber. And when the lefty's up, if his body starts leaning forward, that's supposed to be a balk because he's going home. So to come to first, your body
That's
has to stay
never
You see
upright.
that? Yeah,
But you
never
see,
ever.
Freed's backside always breaks down. I don't know. I just remember when we played in college, we had this one upperclassman pitcher, and I was a good base runner back in the day. I don't think I got caught stealing my senior year. I mean, it's not hard. Catchers in Pike County aren't great. But we
Corey.
but we did that little like World Series, inter squad World Series, Joe. I remember that. But we had an upperclassman, I think he was a junior, and he picked me off like 5 straight times. Like I get on base, he picked me off. And I was getting so ticked because all the upperclassmen were like bragging, oh, look at this stupid freshman getting picked off. Well, first, I'm getting hits off you. I'm on base. But two, he was balking every time. He would start leaning and start going home and then step off and spin and get me. I'm like, dude, that is a balk. So anytime you're going home, you're supposed to go home if your momentum starts going. But some of the guys do it so quickly that you can't catch it. MLB, or even the guys that have a big reputation like Pettit and Fried do, they don't seem to call it on those guys. And then a lesser known lefty like a rookie could do even less and get called for it. So it's very inconsistent.
I always wanted to bring to the table Coach Schultz will never let me. Coach Schultz, if you're still listening, I think you should have let me do this.
Got called out twice today.
But when you're set, right? So here's my glove hand. When you're set, I got to run around first. Instead of spinning around, I just wanted to step off and fire it behind my back. Like going to first base, not even looking. You know what I'm saying? Just like a quick little.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
But you
Never
deceived the
brought it.
runner, so you balked. I'm going. I didn't know you were going to throw it there, so you deceived
Gosh
me by
darn
not
it.
throwing it normal.
That's
Kyle
fair.
always had a good jump move. He was one of the
Yeah, Kyle was quick for being built.
Kyle
Like he was.
He was the best athlete in our class by far, I think.
He was. If he worked at all outside of the games for any sport, he'd just show up and dominate us and then not worry about it the rest of the week.
Well, if you want to feel even more like an egg, think of all the rules we talked about right there about a balk. There is significantly more of them that these umpires at higher levels got to know. And man, I couldn't even hardly wrap my head around it. But maybe we could start a firestorm of just taking the balk out back to 1897.
You'd have to like come set looking at first base. Like I don't know. You're like completely at home and you're like, oh, got him.
Just wrap it around your head.
Yeah.
You could just stop your windup at any moment.
That's true.
I'm in. That'd make the game interesting for sure.
One I never got is why you can't throw to unoccupied base. Why is that a balk? Like if a guy is on first, stealing second, and I see him in the middle of my windup as a righty, why can't I just throw it straight to third baseman? Because what's the chances of third baseman being able to get it to second in time anyway? Why do I have to
Yeah.
pitch? Why can't I throw to unoccupied base? That's one I never got. Because you
Why
don't have to
can't I
see with the
launch it?
runner.
Why can't I launch it into the outfield? You know?
That probably did happen quite a bit. All right, I like that, Joe. We're still
Yeah,
pretty ignorant on it.
that was a good
No,
one,
I
Joe. I
am.
liked it.
All
Get it out
righty.
here.
Well, that's going to bring us to Corey's part. Corey?
Take it away, Corey.
We're the same time.
All right, Corey, I'll take it from here. Anyway, so we got our weekend predictions here. This is Corey's baby. This is Corey's thing. So Corey, sorry if I butcher this, buddy. As you can see, Joe, sorry,
Make sure you got the spreadsheet updated.
there are no
I'll update it. I'm good at it.
pitching matchups, so you're gonna have to do this blind like everybody else, buddy. Um, let's kick it off here. Some of these games, sorry, people who listen, have already been played or are in the process of playing. We promise not to take that into consideration with our picks. So if you got something to say, make a
Jay
comment
Lee
or something.
promises.
Yeah.
We won't
So
use steroid users.
someone go ahead and text me the who's winning the games right now so I can go ahead and make those picks. Anyway, let's start it off with the Braves and Yankees. Now, going into this, I did not know that the Braves were dominating, but Aaron has mentioned it 5 times before the podcast and at least 3 times during the podcast. So I will take the Yankees. Joe, I believe it goes to you.
Oh, they're playing in New York, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll go Skankies.
Braves.
All right, moving right along here. We got Toronto at the Guardians. Ooh, this is a tough one for me, but I think I'm going to take the Guardians. Mainly because Josh Naylor does not look like a baseball player, and that dude just continues to rake. So I like players like that.
Why was this tough for you knowing that Toronto was one of the teams?
Because I think the Guardians are still winning games, and I don't know how. I still think they're one of those teams that you're just like, how is this happening?
Yeah, but they're still better than Toronto. So Cleveland.
Hence why I picked them, dude.
I'll go Cleveland as well. So it's a clean sweep there.
Nice. Moving back into the, I guess it's Midwest, but a little bit southern here. We got the Kansas City Royals at the Texas Walker Rangers. I would be mad at myself if I did not pick Kansas City here.
I mean, they're definitely having a better season, but I would be mad at myself if I did pick Kansas City and they're one good player that they have. So I'm going Texas.
I'm gonna pause you right here before you pick.
I already picked.
I meant to say Aaron after that. You make
Oh,
no sense sometimes. All of your rankings have these small market teams. You have a small market team going against a giant payroll, and you're like, I'm going to take the giant payroll.
correct.
That's it? Just correct?
hmm
All right, back to you, Cooney. Go ahead.
I'll stick with Kansas City. I had them making the playoffs. They got to keep winning.
All right, let's go to the next one here. We got the Brew Crew versus the Padres. Give me San Diego.
Is it at San Diego?
It is at San Diego.
Founded by the Germans. Um,
German Wales.
yeah. Loosely translated. San Diego's been playing pretty good. San Fran, they had some injuries and they were still trying to kind of playing well, but they seem to have fallen off. I guess San Diego's not playing as well as I thought they are, but yeah, San Diego.
I'll go with the Brew Crew. I'm a big William Contreras fan.
He is becoming just maybe the best catcher in the game.
He's so much
Nuts.
fun.
Last but not least, here we got a battle of Los Angeles. We have the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim at Anaheim, previously known as Anaheim
Of California.
of California, at the Los Angeles
You're
Dodgers.
gonna need a bunch of them.
I'm gonna take the Dodgers.
Yeah, I just read an article about how the Angels are on pace for their worst season of all time, and Ron Washington's like, he don't care.
Dude, I love Ron Washington, man. Any
He's
interview
like,
with Ron Washington, gold.
yeah. He's like, we're making a culture. I ain't scared of nothing. Well, they're gonna lose a lot of games. So even with the Dodgers injuries, I think they probably take that. The Dodgers.
Yeah, doing these weekend predictions, we always try to throw like a random game on there that's like two bad teams just because it's fun. But there really wasn't that this weekend. So I added the Battle of LA on there just to see what you guys would think. But I'm not surprised that all three of us are going Dodgers, even without bets Yamamoto. It
What
does not
is
matter.
this might be a stupid question, but it just popped up into my mind and I don't want to think about it too long. What is a Dodger again?
Trolley Dodger? Dodge the
Like a boat?
trolleys and no, like
Train?
train car, like cable cars in New York.
Okay. Well, I was gonna be like, what wins in a fight, an Angel or a Dodger? But
The
train
trolley
cars can
turn.
be pretty rough, I guess.
If you're not good at dodging, it turns you into an angel.
Boom.
All right, so we got I got the Braves, you guys got the Yankees. So split decision there. Clean
Correct.
sweep of Cleveland over who are they playing? Cleveland over Toronto. Joe took Texas, me and Jared correctly picked Kansas City.
Mhm.
Lol.
I
Definitely
picked the
go.
Brewers. You guys both took San Diego. So we got some differences there, and then a clean sweep with the Dodgers. So it could be anybody's weekend. I have no idea what the weekend totals are. We'll have to get those updated going into July and uh, help Corey get the weeks that we've missed
Hey, yeah,
in that
Corey,
spreadsheet.
if you get on that, Corey, that'd be great.
If you go back and watch the last couple podcasts that we didn't record properly, you could watch all those and put those in. That'd be great, Corey. Thanks. All righty, guys. Any closing comments, thoughts, fun times?
Yes.
Hats off, Willie Mays,
And fresh haircuts.
and fresh haircuts, but mainly Willie Mays.
And receding hairlines. Yeah, a little bit on Willie Mays's it was kind of a shame he didn't get to the Rickwood game, but one thing that happened at the Rickwood game was, did you see who was asking the question? Did you see when they asked Bonds, "Hey Barry, if you went up against Satchel Paige, what do you think would have happened?" Nobody saw that.
Mm-mm.
Barry had a one-word response: gone. And they're like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Heck yeah, I'm serious. Gone. I believe in
That's
myself."
great.
It was
That's great.
funny.
Well, Willie was Barry's godfather. I know the Bonds and the Mazes were close. There was a cool story. Of course, I always talk about Buster Olney. Buster Olney had a cool story about a guy he was interviewing on his podcast. It wasn't Buster that said it, but the guy recalled a story that Willie Mays told him about when Willie debuted at 17 years old for the Black Barons facing Satchel Paige. And Satchel Paige threw his off speed stuff and Mays got a hit. And then Satchel started mouthing him, said, "Let me know next time you're up." Willie Mays comes up next time and he said, "Satchel threw three pitches I never saw, threw around back to the dugout." So Satchel Paige dominated him when he was 17. So it'd be interesting to see, like, as they kept going, as Mays hit his prime. Satchel's quite a bit older, and nobody really knew how old he was. But man, it'd been fun to time travel, go watch some of those games. So we hear all these urban legends and myths and stories about some of those Negro League games and players, and we just don't know. All righty, guys. Well, the fellas might be hopefully recording next week without me, but we'll get hopefully get a more regular routine as the summer continues on. But it's been a great week, and yeah, if you got any thoughts or comments on our rankings or other ignorant rules that you also don't understand, make a comment. But until next time, don't forget to rake
Yo!
Rake.
Position.
your